Hello, welcome to Denmark. You might see the flag floating over there. I'm just outside Copenhagen. I'm here to test a bike from a brand that I haven't thrown a leg over ever. Argon 18, you might know them from, well, 7-8 years ago when they used to sponsor the Argon 18 Bora team. That now is Red Bull, of course. They've not been in the pro peloton in a big way for many years. They still sponsor the Novo Nordisk team, but they're still producing race-worthy bikes, or at least that is what they're hoping for the new Nitrogen. Their AERO race bike. It's taking all the cues from, well, what the UCI allow with a race bike. Deeper tube shapes, wider fork legs. So the question is, how rapid is it? Will it make me feel like a superstar, or will I come away feeling a bit like how I think I should pronounce this can of fuck? Can I get away with that on this channel? Let's find out what it's all about. Yeah, a little bit on the noisy side. Off go the fast, lads, and listen to that rear up. It is windy here, been down the coast, so perfect conditions to see how this handles in the crosswinds with its deep tubing, deep wheels. Let's have a play. Alright, let's delve into the tech specs, because this bike, I would say, is one of the more interesting aero bikes that has been released of late, because much like many bikes out there, they have designed it as a full package, but they've gone one step further than normal. They've included the wheels and designed the wheels, or at least worked with a company on designing the wheels to integrate and optimize the aero properties of this bike. First up, yes, they've taken all the new UCI rules, the deeper tubing, that is allowed now, and ploughed it into this bike. It is also available in two different versions. You've got the Pro with a lightweight carbon, and then they've downgraded or made it a little bit more accessible price-wise by using the Elite version, and the price I'll get to in a minute, because it might be heart-stopping for some on the Pro version. Right, geometry-wise, this compared to their all-round road bike, the Sun Pro has a 15mm higher stack. They're claiming it is going to offer a bit more of a comfort aero position, and well, before we get to the review, yes, it does. We have got a T47 threaded bottom bracket on there, and it is massive. And we've got a few carryover design flavours, shall we say, from their track bike, which is used by many teams around the world. They've got the horizontal drop stays, aerodynamic seat post, cockpit or handlebars and stem, as it used to be called, is one piece. And from their new range of components and wheels, which is called a 10, which means 18 in Dutch apparently. All one piece, all integrated. Well, it's got a slight backward flow to the bars, because apparently that helps with aerodynamics, and also wrist placement. And there's, I think, a 12-degree flare, if I remember rightly, on them. And they sort of curve out and back at the same time. In the flesh, you can see it better than in the video. And yes, it is comfortable. The top of the bar as well isn't overly deep, quite narrow compared to a lot of aero road bike bars out there. As I've said, they've worked on developing this bike as a package and included the wheels, and they've worked with Scope. You might have heard of them out there and seen their wheels with that scaly pattern on there. They've taken their top end range wheels, the Artex 6, and slapped plus on the end, because they've widened them by 1.3mm outside to outside. And they're designed to work with the Vittoria Corsa tyres in a 30mm. They found this package, this design, offers the best aerodynamics. That might be a boon for some who like the tyres, like myself, I find them great out on the road. Might be a problem for some people, but I'm sure other 30mm will work just as well. Right, weight wise, it's coming in light, this thing, for an aero road, well, for any bike. They claim a medium, small, comes in at 6.75 kilos with a jaw ace build on there. They did have one on show, raw, unpainted, that got down to about 6.5. So yeah, shows how much lacquer they put on these frames. And yes, that weight includes bottle cage mount. Frame weight alone is 950 grams. It's also claimed to be 18% stiffer than the Sun Pro, but just as comfortable. Right, onto the range. You've got a starting price of $5,400 with the Elite frame set. Doesn't come with them fancy wheels, but comes with a 105 group set. Right up to crazy money, superbike money, $13,500 for the top end, fancy wheels, SRAM red group set. You're getting ceramic speed bottom bracket in there, ceramic speed SLT headset, which is becoming more prevalent in the top end bikes that we see out there now. So yeah, breathtaking money, but is it worth it? Let's delve into the review. All right, we're back at the very fancy bike and coffee shop where we started the ride today. That fancy that there's a couple of pros in there from around here. Quick Step rider, Alpecin rider, don't ask me who. Anyway, you're here to find out about what I think about the new Argon 18 AERO road bike and whether it's worth your cold hard cash. First, let's just remember that this is a first ride review. I have only been out on the bike for 75k and I'm only going to get 75k out on it because yesterday flew in 4 o'clock, I fly out tomorrow at 9 o'clock. But we have been on a very good route, the sort of perfect route for this sort of bike, down the coast road, into some very strong winds, crosswinds, headwinds, then inland to some land that looks like the old, I suppose, Microsoft XP home screen, if you know what I mean, and all on silky smooth tarmac, a little bit of rough stuff, but mostly silky smooth tarmac. So how has the bike performed? Well, I gotta say, it feels stupidly fast. I'm filming this before I know all the details about the bike, which I think's a good thing, because I'm not getting swayed by what they believe I should believe. And I gotta say, whatever design factors that they've put into it, which you should know by now with the other bit of the video that comes before this, they've done a good job. It sings along on the road. It holds its speed really well. And in them crosswinds, which there's been a lot of today, I didn't feel like it was uncontrollable at all. I've been on some aero bikes in the past and you're thrown all over the spot in a crosswind. You fear for your life when the crosswind comes, grabs the down tube, grabs the deep wheels and throws you onto the other side of the road. This, even with the narrow bars, which I'll get to in a minute, I found really controllable. Is that a word? Real manageable. It didn't have me worrying at any point, and I'm telling you, the winds were really strong today. So yeah, them bars, super narrow. I think I'm on a 36 on this bike, and I usually hate narrow bars. I might be a little bit old and grumpy and not used to the modern tech, and I've not in the past got on with narrow bars, but these ones, everything about them feels right. The top isn't too wide, it doesn't feel like you're stretching your hands to get over them, and it's comfortable to sit there. The shape of the drop and the flare that they've got on there, I found very comfortable, and the width doesn't feel overly narrow after you've been out on it for probably about 20 minutes or so. I got used to it really quickly. So yeah, hats off there. Performance wise, you put the hammer down and it goes, it feels light under you. Some aero bikes that I've been on recently feel kind of weighty before you get them up to speed. This thing just kicks and feels light underneath you, but it definitely won't hold you back on the climbs. Though I'm guessing the geometry isn't exactly designed for that. It does handle exceptionally well at speed. Lower speeds, you're feeling that geometry that you will find with most aero bike to be a little bit slower, I suppose. But it is a bike that's really impressed me. I'm quite surprised. I didn't expect it from Argon 18, and I suppose I should have really, because their aero knowledge is pretty damn deep. So heck, they sponsor God knows how many people on the velodrome with their track bike. Comfort wise, I did aim for the odd pothole that I did find out on the road today. It's got a nice balance between being what it should be for an aero bike, but one that you should be able to get out for a half decent long ride on as well. Now, Argon 18 as a brand, I would say doesn't have the same cachet as some of the other bike brands out there. It doesn't have that cultural cachet, shall we say, where some brands seem to plough their marketing budget into making sure you have that certain feel about the brand, that certain cool factor that you want to buy into. I would say Argon 18 hasn't got any of that. at all. So it's a bike most people who are going to go out and buy are buying it purely on performance rather than the, as I say, cachet of owning a brand such as this. So it has to be good at its job, and it is. These guys have definitely nailed what a aero bike is. The wheels, stupidly noisy, and I'd love to test them on other bikes because, as they say, they've tweaked the design to the standard ones and made sure that everything works in harmony. So should you go out and spend your cold hard cash on this? After a first ride on it, I'd say it's one that I would definitely like to throw a leg over again, and one that definitely performs above quite a few of the aero bikes that I've thrown a leg over in the past, especially one that was I tested recently. I'm not going to say here. We don't need to lower one down to raise the other up. But yeah, they've done a good job here at Argon 18. I can highly recommend it. What do you think though, people? Let us know in the comments below. Join the conversation. Is it a bike that you'd throw a leg over? Let me know. And as always, thanks for watching and enjoy your riding.